And moving on to my topic today, problem solving. So problem solving in sense like we could say like finding solution for a given problem, that is called problem solving, right? So this is what like these are the things I'm going to discuss today. So problem solving is a process of finding solutions to difficult or complex issues. So the interviewer will be, so I will be talking on the point of interviewer, since you're going to face placements, okay? So they'll be giving you a issue or a problem, so which will be a difficult problem, it can be an easy problem, whatever it is, okay? You're going to find a problem solution for the given problem statement, okay? So what are the things you have to follow while finding a solution? That is what I'm going to discuss today, okay? So I'll be discussing on these things like how, what, the steps to be followed, and the 3 C's you have to remember while writing a problem solution, and about the complexity of the solution. And I'll be giving you some example problems and few references that you can go through, okay? So first is how, what, who, and what if. What is it? So when an interviewer or an examiner gives you a problem statement, just go through the statement twice or thrice, okay? Don't get panic, uh, and don't think like it is too complex. Just sit, just go through the problem, read again and again, okay? So that you'll find the solution of that particular problem. You might get some solution out of that. Don't think it is very complex or it is too big, or you doesn't know the solution and all. Definitely you'll get a solution which could match with the problem statement. So don't get panic first, okay? Then just check what to do with this problem statement, then to whom it is applicable, and how it could be done, to whom you're going to serve, okay? For example, say a problem statement which could serve a particular community, so you have to check like to whom you're going to provide the solution. Based on that also you have to create solutions, fine? Then the third one is how you're going to do it, okay? What, who, and how you're going to do it. So in case if you're planning to do it, if you're proposing a problem, you have to check what if it goes wrong, okay? You have to uh, see through that, like in a negative manner also. If something goes positive, it is well and good. If something goes wrong, you have to find an alternative solution for that, okay? So you have to keep all these in mind while creating a problem solution, fine? So what, who, how, and what if, okay? So you keep these things in mind and then start working on a given problem statement. And then comes the 5 primary steps. This picture I've taken from the internet. So maybe you can include so many steps into it. So these are all some of the primary things you have to keep in mind while finding a problem solution, okay? Solution for a problem. So first and foremost thing, you just analyze the cause to the unwanted situations. First analyze the cause, okay? What will happen, what this will create, whether it will create a positive effect or it will create a negative adverse effect and all. You just check, analyze the given data, and then generate set of informations, okay? For example, say you have to create so many solutions for a particular problem, not only one case. For example, say if I'm asking you to write a program to create to add 2 numbers, maybe usually we used to learn programs using these things only, right? C is equal to a plus b will be your initial problem and initial program in all the programming languages you learn. So let us take this as an example here. So if I tell you to write a program to add 2 numbers, what will be the output for that? You will get a, the value of a and b in a separate variable, and you'll add these 2 numbers and store it in another variable called c, and you'll print it. This is one solution. For example, say if I'm giving more than 2 numbers, what will happen? So you have to modify that code. You have to find another solution for that, right? You have to get 3 inputs and you have to again add these inputs, and you'll be storing it in C and you'll be printing it out. If, for example, if the user is expecting for more than 100 numbers, what will you do? You have to use for loop or while loop, right? So for addition itself, we have so many solutions for based on the inputs the user gives, right? So for a particular given problem, you have to think so many outputs, that is so many solutions, that is feasible solutions, right? And you have to jot it down. So solution one is this, solution two is this, that is what, how, what, when, and what if. Okay, so you have to keep these things in mind, and then you have to evaluate the best solution out of that. Okay, so you have to use real time inputs, and maybe you can give some trial experience to the users, few users, and you can have trial cases, and you can evaluate that, and based on that, no, you can choose the best solution out of that, and you can provide it to the user. So even an interview, no, you have to do in that way. So you have to check the question what the interviewer had asked you, just analyze that question and generate so many outputs as much you can. Okay, and then in that, no, select the best solution out of it and then provide that. Fine. So it has to be done like within 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So you have to think prudent, and you have to act as on. So you have to is that you have to do it automatically. Your mind has to think the various set of solutions, and you have to evaluate based out of that. And at last, no, you have to assess the effectiveness of a program or a problem solution. So how will assess it? The effectiveness doesn't mean that reducing the step or reducing the runtime or compile time. Okay, how far it is serving the end user, that is how you have to assess the effectiveness of the particular problem. Okay, for example, say I told you an example of addition of two numbers, right? Like how to add two numbers and how it is being used and all, right? So you have to think, for example, say instead of getting two numbers, no, even if you are using for loop, it will run also for two numbers. So that for loop can be used for 100 inputs as well as two inputs, right? So you can give that algorithm as an end product. So you can assess in that way the effectiveness of that particular algorithm. Okay, and then comes your three C's. So while finding the solution for a given problem, so you have to keep in mind these three C's. Okay, the interviewer is not going to recruit all the people, those who are going to clear that particular round. He will select the people who are very clear in their solution, who are concrete in their results, and those who have created the solution very creatively. That is what going to show you different than others. Okay, so you have to keep in mind all these three things. One is clarity, the other one is create concrete results, the other one is creativity. So creativity is it's needed, it's much needed from you people. So think different. Okay, and the solution which you provide should be very clear. It should be clear cut. Okay, seeing your solution, no, the interviewer has to think that okay, this particular girl or boy, he or she knows the concept very well, and he can exhibit any problem or he can solve any problem. If you give that confidence to them, they will recruit you for sure. Okay, so you have to remember all these three C's: clarity, concrete results, and creativity. Okay, and I just want to add another thing, another C with this C's, which is called complexity. See, talking about this complexity, no, so the solution which you give should not contain like so many modules. Okay, it should not be a complex one. The solution should be a simpler one. Okay, because if you give a complex solution for a given problem statement, so the developer is the one who is going to develop based on the solution what you give. Okay, they are going to develop it. So he or she should not think that it is very complex and this solution cannot be made. If he or she thinks so, and again you won't get job. Okay, so while writing a problem solution, just think this in mind, keep this in mind. The problem statement, okay, sorry, the problem solution which you give should be a simple one. It should not be like very simple, but then it should not be more complex. Okay, complex enough. So you just think on that. Fine. Okay, so for example, say, I could give you one example for this complexity. You would have gone through this tower of Hanoi example so many times. You would have learned this in Python programming too in first unit. So what this tower of Hanoi will do, so you have to replace all these disks from first pole to the last pole with the help of the mid pole, right? So I've given 3 disks, so you can use n number of steps to solve this particular problem. So it can be 4 step, or it can be 7 step, or it can go around 12 or 20 or so on. Okay, how effectively you will solve? So what you have to do, first of all, you just have to know how to solve this particular problem. The problem statement has to be read properly, and you have to start working on it. Okay, so you have to create so many solutions. For example, say I have used 7 steps to clear this particular problem, and I'm implemented in this way. It is easy to understand, right? So I have cleared in this way. And even you can give solution for this like this. Okay, you have to replace and all using this pictorial representation. So here in both these examples I have used this the explanation, or in the solution, this is your problem statement and this is your solution, right? Solution 1 and solution 2. In both this I have used, like, I've clearly mentioned like how to replace this, right? So from this I've given 2 solutions for this, a pictorial representation of these two, with like each steps how it has been transferred from each poles. And here I have used arrow marks for the shifts and all. Okay, so in this way I can explain others. In this way I can give examples, and in this way I can project my solution. Fine. But then it is here you have to select a perfect solution from this. This is what I was telling in the beginning. So you have to create n number of what is that, expected solutions. From that you have to choose one which will be attracted by the student, that is by the interviewer. Okay, one second. Hello. Sir, class sir, student நிறைய பேர் வந்துட்டாங்க. Google Classroom start பண்ணுங்க. Thank you. Oh, sorry. So from this, no, you can choose one output and you can present it to the interviewer. So you can choose like which is very effective, so so that you can which will be presentable and which will be accepted by the user as well. So you can choose among these two. So this is one example I just wanted to tell you. So in this way you have to select one output. And these are all some of the questions which has been asked in SAP interviews. I took this from internet, and you have like you can find so many questions like this on internet. And I have few references for you. So they'll be asking like not just to write an algorithm using these problem statements. You have to write pseudocode for this particular statements. So for this, no, for transferring this problem solution into an pseudocode, you have to know what is the data, what is the data structure, how it is being defined, how it is being structured, how it is being placed, how it can work, how to write a pseudocode using those data structures and all. Okay, and even you have to know like if you run this particular program, how it will be scheduled in your OS, how memory space is being allocated. Okay, how you can post query on this particular solution. Okay, how a project can be dealt. Okay, for all these things you have to learn data structures, software engineering, object oriented programming language, and what else, DBMS, OS and all. Okay, so this is what you're going to learn in the upcoming what is that, sessions. So keep learning,